Has Joe Hockey lost his mojo? Well, that appears to be what Labor was testing in question time on Tuesday. Before the winter recess, Labor directed its budget-related questions almost exclusively to the Prime Minister. Now it's decided to target the Treasurer directly. One note, many of Labor's questions allude to public comments that Joe Hockey has made since delivering the budget in May.
Millions of Australians are worried about the GP tax. So, Treasurer, is it the case that patients wouldn't be hit by the Medicare co-payment if they have chronic illnesses?
Well, it was outlined in the budget papers, and absolutely right, in relation to chronic illnesses. In relation to the claim it's a GP tax, he's wrong. He's wrong. It's a payment for service.
Is it the case that the Treasurer's electorate of North Sydney has one of the highest bulk billing rates in Australia?
The national rate is 82.9. At various times, North Sydney has been quite high. It's not high at the moment. I'll tell you why. Why is that funny? The Coalition is up for fixing the budget. The Coalition is up for fixing the economy, and the Coalition is up for fixing the mess that Labor created.
In relation to the government's GP tax, are people in a position now where they're not prepared to give up a couple of cups of coffee in order to take a sick child to the doctor?
If we want Medicare to deliver all that we expect into the future, we need to make a contribution now. We need to make a contribution now to ensure that the system is sustainable in the future. Someone has to fix the mess, and we are determined to do it. We will not engage in intergenerational theft when it comes to the treatment of the budget.
Treasurer, is the GP co-payment a tax by any other name?
We are asking Australians to pay $7 when they go and visit a GP, and that goes to the GP. The bottom line is that it is a payment for service.
Madam Speaker, on direct relevance, if it helps, on the 13th of May on 7:30, the Treasurer did agree.
The member will resume his seat.
The honourable member for Jagga, who was there at the time.
The member for Griffith will desist.
Was there.
The member for Griffith is warned.
She was witness to the birth of Labor's commitment to a Medicare co-payment. She was there in the birthing room. Did I go that far? There in the birthing room. But of course there is no prouder dad than the member for Fraser. And of course the bottom line is, if we want to make our health and welfare system sustainable, if we want to make our education system sustainable, we have to ask Australians to make a contribution along the way. And even on their budget rhetoric at the moment, they are completely confused. They say, the Labor Party says, take the savings. The Labor Party says, here are our $21 billion of savings.
Is it the case that one of the things that quite astounds the Treasurer is that some people are screaming about the $7 co-payment? And does the Treasurer agree that you can spend just over $3 on a middy of beer, so that's 2 middies of beer, to go to the doctor?
What are they complaining about?
What astounds me is that the Labor Party is in denial about the state of the budget. That astounds me, and it astounds me that the Labor Party is in denial about debt. We want to control our destiny, and the best way to control your destiny is to ensure that you do not owe people too much money. You do not owe the bankers of the world too much money. You have to live within your means.
Has the government decided whether it will legislate changes to age pension indexation before the next election, or is it actually the case that this legislation has already passed the House of Representatives?
The matter is before the Senate. And it does not take effect until after the next election.
On the point of order, Madam Speaker, on relevance, it was the Treasurer that said we haven't said
the member will resume her seat. The Treasurer has the call. Treasurer has concluded his answer.
Is it really the case that the poorest people either don't have cars or actually don't drive very far in many cases?
Well, Madam Speaker, I dealt with that last week. And the reason why we are putting in place, and we want to put in place, a policy that asks Australians to contribute 1 cent more for petrol is because we need to build the roads that make life easier for Australians.
I've waited patiently. I just want to know one thing, Treasurer. Do poor people have cars and do they drive them? And do you know what you're talking about?
Is it the case that his fuel tax is a progressive tax? I couldn't find it in here. They bought them all to stop us from reading them.
I understand it's selling quite well. And I'm betting it's going to sell better than the member for McMahon's book as well.